So, you ever get that feeling when you leave the auto shop? That little voice in the back of your head wondering if you really needed that full synthetic blinker fluid flush, or if the mechanic knows something you don't. It's a common feeling, this information gap between the person with the problem and the expert with the solution. Today, we're closing that gap. We're diving deep into the mechanic's playbook, pulling back the curtain on 10 specific car hacks, tips, and secrets that could genuinely save you hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars in 2025. This isn't about distrusting every mechanic, but about empowering you, the owner. The thing is, modern cars are essentially computers on wheels, packed with sensors, processors, and complex systems. Alright, let's start with the most iconic, and frankly the most anxiety-inducing light on your dashboard, the check engine light. It pops on, your heart sinks, and your mind immediately jumps to a four-figure repair bill. But what if I told you that for less than the cost of a couple of pizzas, you could have the exact same initial diagnostic power as the pros? This is where the OBD2 scanner comes in. OBD2, or Onboard Diagnostics 2, is a standardized system that's been in every car sold in the US since 1996. It's a universal port, usually located under the dashboard on the driver's side, that acts as a direct line to your car's brain. The mechanic simply plugs in their fancy, expensive scanner, reads the code, and tells you what it means. But the secret is, you don't need their $1,000 machine to do the exact same thing. Entry-level OBD2 scanners are incredibly affordable now. It's a tiny dongle that you plug into the port and leave there. It then connects to a free app on your smartphone, and suddenly, you have a powerful diagnostic tool in your pocket. Next up is one of the most common and costly upsells in the auto industry: premature tire replacement. Tires are a huge profit center for service shops, and they have a vested interest in selling you a new set as often as possible. The key is knowing how to check it yourself. You don't need a fancy digital gauge. All you need is a penny. Let's break down what actually goes into a typical brake job. The main components are the brake pads and the brake rotors or discs. A brake job on a single axle is a relatively straightforward job for a professional mechanic. For most common cars, it should take about 1 to 1.5 hours of labor. Before you agree to any work, ask for a breakdown of the quote. How much is for parts? How much for labor? And how many hours of labor are they charging? Let's talk about one of the most misleading terms in the entire auto industry lifetime. Over time, that constant heat cycling breaks down the fluid's additives. The detergents that keep the system clean get used up. The friction modifiers that ensure smooth shifts wear out. For most automatic transmissions, even those with lifetime fluid, independent mechanics and transmission specialists almost universally recommend a drain and fill or a full fluid exchange somewhere between 60,000 and 100,000 miles. We're talking about the best time to fill up your gas tank. The difference between stations, even in the same neighborhood, can be staggering. Apps like GasBuddy, Waze, Upside, and others use your phone's location to instantly show you a map of every gas station around you, complete with their current, user-reported prices. At most pumps in the US, you'll see a sticker that says, contains up to 10% ethanol, which is known as E10. Let's move on to one of the most common and honestly, one of the most overpriced maintenance items you'll ever buy for your car: wiper blades. But here's the secret. Replacing wiper blades is one of the easiest pieces of car maintenance you can possibly do. On most cars, it requires no tools whatsoever and takes less than 5 minutes for the pair. By taking the auto parts store and the dealership out of the equation, you can get the exact same quality blades, or even better ones, for a fraction of the cost. We're going to talk about the lease buyout and how to leverage something called positive equity. This is the leasing company's estimate of what the car will be worth at the end of the lease term. You can get a very good estimate by using online valuation tools like Kelley Blue Book, Edmunds, or by getting instant offers from places like CarMax, Carvana, or Vroom. For example, if your lease contract says your buyout price is $20,000, but the car is currently selling on the used market for $25,000, you have $5,000 in positive equity. Alright, so let's talk about the future, which for a lot of people is already here: electric vehicles. This has led to a pervasive myth, the idea that EVs are essentially no-maintenance machines. This is a clean, simple narrative, but it's not the complete picture. A common misconception is that because of regenerative braking, where the electric motor slows the car down and recaptures energy, you never need to service your brakes. Let's talk about one of the most consistent and unavoidable costs of car ownership: insurance. Insurance pricing is incredibly complex, and it's filled with discounts and programs that most people never even know exist. The biggest evolution in car insurance is the use of technology, specifically telematics. This is where you agree to let the insurance company monitor your driving habits. So there you have it, 10 car hacks that can put some serious money back in your pocket. Each one of these is a small piece of knowledge, but when you put them all together, they represent a fundamental shift in how you approach car ownership, from a passive consumer to an informed owner. So I want to hear from you. What are your go-to car hacks? What's a secret that a mechanic or a dealer once let you in on? Share it down below. And of course, if you found any of this helpful, or if it's going to save you some money, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the video reach more people. And if you want to see more content like this, more deep dives into the tech, and the tricks that save you money and make you a smarter owner, make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. It's been Marcus. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.